Nicky Hawkins outside the London Stadium, West Ham Fan TV. Dave, topsy-turvy day, roller coaster of emotions. How you feeling?
Yeah, I think you summed it up, roller coaster emotions. You know, first 90 minutes we were poor. And that's mad, isn't it? Talk about football game and say you were poor for 90 minutes. But the first 90 minutes we were diabolical. And I'll tell you what, man, I never want to see Max Killman anywhere near a first team again. Like,
I thought that's a bit harsh. I was in there. Because of the penalty, I was slagging him off. But I think that's a bit harsh today. I thought he'd done okay.
He didn't do anything. You know, he made every pass he made was sideways, backwards. You know, he looked like he's looked so lacking confidence.
But you know what, though? I see him before the game, right? I see him. And I don't think I've seen him about 5 times now, and I don't think I've seen the geezer smile. He's obviously suffering.
Oh yeah, you can see it. Like, and look, you know, the boos don't help. I understand it. You know, he because that was such a clumsy foul to give away, and like he was poor all game. But you know, he's got to go in the summer. Like,
Where did he go?
We stood outside.
Give it to Millwall.
Yeah, I'd have been there taking him, to be honest. But we stood outside Burton, and I mean, you know, in the full round. And you said, you know, which of these youngsters, and we agreed that Ezra Mayers has probably done enough to be full choice centre half. If it was a space today, he should have started. But you know, look, the 90 minutes we were absolutely away. You can't say anyone really played well. I think in the first 90, and then suddenly the ball went up and stopped each time. I turned to my brother. I said, I wish you put 2 minutes up and just be done with it. I don't know why the neighbour 11 because we were nowhere. All of a sudden, bang! We've remembered we can play football, and suddenly, you know, for the next 11 minutes of stoppage time and 30 minutes of injury, we look like a different side. It's funny though, isn't it? Because he's like, he went 2 up. That changed the game, I think. Once he went 2 up top, you know, once he went like, stop being a coward, and he started to try and get on the front foot, we look a different side. I wish he'd learnt from this. I wish he should have learnt from this.
He doesn't learn, though. He doesn't, does he?
But he should have learnt from the Chelsea game, and he should have learnt today that when we're on the front foot,
we're better.
We're a better side. You know what it is? It's because we got a team with players that have all got limitations. But between that team, that first 11, you can pick 2 and 3 centre halves. Yeah. But that first 11, they counter each other's limitations, so they work. It's like a jigsaw piece. You know, there's a hole in one side, but it's plugged by the gap in the other, and it's like, and it works. And you know, we desperately lack Mavropanos today. I think, you know, him or Tadibo would have been, you know, a big difference maker. Somerville would have been a big difference maker. But you know, hey-ho.
But it's one of them things. Listen, we've scored 2 in extra time. They're both offside. But when the keeper goes down, you start to think it's not going to be your day. You know what I mean? When it's getting to penalties. But I thought young Finley coming doing well. But you'd bank your house on fucking Bowen to score his penalty.
You would. Yeah, look, we had 2 from 5 from the Brentford. Only Bowen and Suchek took penalties from the 5. Yeah. You know, we come out of Brentford and we said they were fantastic. Funny enough, I went the opposite way to you. When Finn Eric come on, I was at Boreham Woods, and he, in the National League Cup final, he made a ricket in the last, you know, and for the penalties, I think he went the wrong way for all of them. The one he went the right way for came at the post, hit him in the bag and went in.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought, when he came on the I thought, he's written in the stars. You know, like, he's such a good kid, such a good kid. You know, he's got a real future ahead of him. Don't get me wrong, well, I'm not. That National League Cup's just there for them to get minutes against men, right? It doesn't mean anything really. But it was a good experience, and I thought he was going to learn that. And when he saved that first penalty, like, I celebrated that penalty save.
So close to one. I think it's
I know he got one on the hand as well. You know, but when he saved, honestly, I celebrated that penalty save. I think, and I celebrated the equaliser. Like, I was so made up for him. You know, because he's got a big future to him. If we get the right loan for him next year, look at Jordan Pickford. Pickford had loan spells and went on to do what he did. And there's no reason that Finn Eric can't do the same. And I'm not trying to put too much pressure on the kid's shoulders, but he is a really good young keeper.
What do you think about the starting 11 today? Apparently 7 people injured coming back from international duty, going into a quarter-final. They'll be fit Friday, I'm sure.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you? You'd hope so, because...
Well, I'm not having it, Dave. I'm not having it. They're injured. I've been discussing. They're not injured. He just didn't want to pick them today.
I think you're probably right. To be fair, I think, but it's a weird one. Why? Because you've got another game. The Everton game will get moved, right? Other than that, you've got 1 extra game. That's all you've got to worry about. Everton home, and like to rest players. I know in the early stages, you can be like.
We've got stage, mate, and you cannot do that. It's such a good opportunity to get to Wembley today. Such a good opportunity,
and it would have given such good vibes. Imagine if you know that penalty goes in, we come out now and we're talking about Wembley.
Yeah.
You know that gutting, that sort of sense of deprecation or whatever. it's replaced. You're buzzing. The first 90 minutes, however bad Killman was, you forget about it because you've got that trip at Wembley. Yeah. You forget the situation you're in. And now all of a sudden it's like, all we've got is a league. And
it's miserable.
Wolves, it is miserable. And that pressure goes on because obviously Spurs have changed their manager.
Changed him before. Didn't do nothing.
Don't get me wrong, I still think Forest will be the team to drop. I think, I don't know about Spurs. You're saying about Spurs, I think the size of the club probably means they'll get out of it. But, you know, will VAR, will PGMO let Spurs go down? That's my thing. But look, I still wait for it. But now it's like the Wolves game just got twice, 3-4 times as big as it was.
But he had 7 out. They've got to come back in. He's got no fucking excuse.
No, he's got no excuse. He's got, you know, they've got to come back in and they've got to perform like we know they can. And he's got to play on the front foot. You can't go into Wolves and play on the back foot and sit there looking panicked.
And wait till we fucking concede the goal like today.
Exactly. We can't do that on Friday. On Friday night, we've got to come and we've got to be out of the blocks. We have to. There is no other alternative. There is no other way.
Do or die.
It is. And we've got to do, because we know if we go down, we die.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Cheers,
great.